excited. It's like I'm back home. I can smell the trees.
All right, down here with the 3500 at the local Dodge Ram dealer. Gonna get this thing tackled for some emission stuff. Okay, they're doing wheel stud check, water pump update on the software for emission stuff. That's the big holdback, is that'll mess up your registration even if you're in a non-small county. And then this thing needed an alignment because it drags a little bit, so that's going to be part of it that they're going to take. Better get those out of there. Whoopsies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This was an undocumented, unprepared video. I'm trying to bring you back up to speed. Like you saw, we are literally in the middle of northern Nevada in Winnemucca. We are roughly 220 miles away from the house. I just bought a bunch of gear from my buddy David at the trailer store. We're filling full of fuel and we're about to hit the road. Now, this is where our story took a turn. We're at the big rig pumps. Now, take note of that. Now we're at a smaller gas station that actually had a convenience center, and we went ahead and went inside and got some electrolytes. We're about to hit the road. We spent too much time out in the sun chatting about trailers. My buddy Tavit, my boy, he's along for the trip. And this is where I stopped filming because, yeah, things went sideways on us right after we left that gas station.
Excited. It's like I'm back home. I can smell the trees. Actually smell the trees.
Let me tell you what. We should have done a better job at documenting this, but we were, well, I was passenger princess, my boy Tavitt was driving, and we were just worried about getting back. Now, you saw earlier on in the video, I met up with him at the diner, and that just happened to be 144 miles from where we got that 150-mile warning. So we're like, well, at least we can make it back to the Ford and figure it out when we get there. But I spent, man, most of those miles looking up YouTube videos, looking up any cheat code that I could find, and just hoping that I could reset that trip meter on the truck. Now, another thing, like you saw in the beginning of the video, I just took my truck in to the dealer to get the mandatory Cummins software update. Apparently, that's like high level. Like, it'll hold back your registration. I slipped through it last year. Don't matter what county you're in, you're supposed to get it done. They actually even paid us $500 to get this done, a little incentive. But I wanted to go ahead and get that done so that it'll clear the bill of health and the registration so that stuff could happen to that truck finally. So this was in the scheme of things, but I've never had this kind of trouble with this truck ever in the last 8 years owning it. So anyway, right after that happens, we get this code, and the dealer warned that we might have some kind of check engine lights, but they extend your emissions warranty because of that. But anyway, what I didn't show is we made it mathematically back to the Ford, and we spent an hour disconnecting batteries, hunting, deleting whatever check engine light that didn't even show up on the dash. And then we ultimately just said, screw it. We put the new trailer and all the other gear behind the Ford, my buddy's Ford. And we just drove the 6 miles up the highway to see how far we could get and see what happened, because the internet didn't tell us. And I'm about to tell you what will happen. fucking sporty, bud. Well, beyond smoked. Leaving Winnemucca, we got a thing on the dash saying we had 150 miles before 5 mile an hour D-rate. That got us back into California, towing the new trailer, and we spent like an hour in the parking lot where we left Tavitt's Ford and trying to get this thing to like reset so I could get home, because I had 6 miles left till D-rate. So we said, screw it, we're just gonna run it. We hooked the trailer to the Ford, and he's somewhere behind me, and when it got to 0, it just said you got till reset until, like, if you shut the truck off or you idle for a long time before it'll go to limp mode. So I've just been hauling the mail back home, and I'm about 10 minutes from the house. It's been a long day. Son of a bitch, that thing's got some lights. There's the new Tiny Buddy. Because the Dodge had an issue, but it still made it here. And it still hasn't gone into limp mode. So Tavitt's truck had to finish the mission to bring my freaking 2,500 pound car hauler trailer home with the Ford. Thank God for good buddies. Holy shit. So check this out. I shut the truck off and fired it back up, and it gave me the same warning, and I still got full stick.
Scam.
I guess I'll just drive it around town tomorrow.
Dude. What the heck?
I don't know, but I feel like I got hit by the truck.
Dude, no, that's a freight train. Well, you got a pretty good bumper on there, so yeah.
Dude, I was plowing the road for deer for you, by the way.
I appreciate it. I saw a few.
Yeah.
I was like, and I saw a jackrabbit.
Wow, what a show. Haven't made it back with the TB, Tiny Buddy. And he's going to take my new little buddy, because he's got to go do a change order job tomorrow, and he needs to haul a little skid steer or something. Or I don't know. It's fine. I'm so smoked. I'm going inside. I just really feel bad for him that he had to put up my BS today and has to drive home now. Well, there's the sight for you right there, folks. Oof. Now, part of this is self-inflicted, folks. I've been trying to grow my hair out, and yesterday I had it. What is all this junk up here? Diesel or something? I don't know. Got the 3500 loaded up. It's going to the dealer. I just picked it up from the dealer less than 500 miles ago. So, get on the road. I've never had this issue before, so I had no idea what to expect. We tried the battery disconnects trick and all that. Nothing changed. This was at near midnight last night after I got up at 4 a.m. to do a run to get the new trailer and back. But anyway, we are smoked tired. Been hanging out at my buddy's trailer lot all day, just kicking back. Bought the new trailer, headed home, and that happened. It's way late at night. Nobody really around to help. Everybody's asleep. So we get on the road, and I just start driving, see if we can make it to his cabin at least, and then he can get his gooseneck to haul me home, because my new little trailer is for a freaking hot rod. 10,000 pound rated little trailer. I think it would have done it, but we had other stuff on there. Bought a bunch of other stuff over out in Nevada. Some spare tires for the trailers and stuff like that. We just didn't have the space. So we got on the road, hit 0, and it said as soon as you shut the truck off or fuel it, then you'll get the D-rate. So I was like, well, I guess that means we can make it home. Drove it all the way home. Had to give my buddy something so he could freaking tow my trailer for me. He didn't get back till this morning sometime. Now I'm headed this thing, taking this to the dealer. I got this one. It's got 77,000 miles on it. It's been a great truck. It has been like the do-all in a pinch, if need be, backup truck. So this really freaking bums me out that the younger me bought this truck. And I mean, aside from getting dirty and stuff, I was taking pretty good care of this truck. I put everything else in the truck, put the dogs away. But when you can't go, buddy, it's too hot. Oh, did I mention it's been 100 degrees I'm smoked. Fine, I'll see the dealer. Now what? So your plan ends? Boy, this would have been miserable last night on I-80. First time. Rushed down here to get here before 3 and then just park it on the parking lot. So let's go ahead and get this thing put back together. I'm gonna wander out there and look at that flatbed looking unit. What is that? Chevy? Urge. Automatic. Check this out. This looks tits. I haven't really been around one of these Western hauler bed deals. I think this is a new unit. And brand new. Well, maybe not new ski. Hopefully it's not new because it's got freaking paint falling off. No, it's not new. But this looks slick. I don't hate that at all. Not one bit. Cloth. Well, I ordered a Liberation kit for the 3500. They're driving it around over there now. But in the meantime, the salesman came out and was on the phone with Taylor. And he said, "You need help finding anybody?" I said, "Not unless you want to go for a test drive." And he said he's retiring tomorrow from the salesman division. So he's going to move on with something else. And he said, "Let's go." I'm going to try the 8-speed. Well, they just took it for a test drive and cleared everything. And they think there was an air bubble in the def tank, not letting it read. So it's okay. While I was sitting out there, I ordered a Liberation kit. It'll be here. Some diesel dudes. But we're gonna go take it for a test drive. Yeah. I just got back and he just showed back up. He was only here like 12 hours ago. What the hell happened? Both of us driving forward now. I'll tell you this much though. That son of a bitch pulls that setup real nice. Real nice. Look at that. Turning around inside of himself right there. Very flexible. Last week, his 3500 lost a rad. So I went back to the Ford. And then this week, this happened. Hopefully everything's good to go. But hopefully everything just stays good to go. I don't even care what brand it is. Just stay good to go. We need the VIN. There's small things in life, folks. Propane guy showed up today. I put these bottles here the other day. I meant to put a note on it saying, "Hey, can you fill these for me too?" Homeboy filled them all. Now I don't have to go to town. Pay double the rates. Buy it at the pump for the trailer. Well, if you guys made it this far in the video and want some answers, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. But comment below, "Sam, I can't believe the 3500 after all these faithful years finally did you dirty like that." I don't know if the timing on this situation is so much the Cummins gate recall, the software patch that basically reillustrates how it reads values in the catalyst and all that. It's trying to achieve a cleaner burn. Now, my 22 5500, that thing burned a lot of def. Like, it was almost ridiculous. The reason I went with the 22 F450 is because I heard the 23 pluses burned a lot of def, and I kind of wanted to get away from that. Because my 4th gen 3500, that thing has sipped def its whole existence. Like, it hardly drank any. I didn't even really concern myself with it. It drank so little. And there's a tip that I always followed, old Cotton Top 3. He was one of like the earlier YouTubers. I don't even know if that guy is still, what the heck he's doing anymore. I used to watch him religiously. But he had this little trick that he said he had an issue when he first got his 17 ISN 3500 truck, single wheel, whatever. That if you overfilled the def tank, it would cause this. And so I always avoided overfilling the def. And I would wait till the light came on, saying you need def, and I'd put a 2.5 gallon jug in there. And like I mentioned, we were at the big rig pump. And my boy Tavitt was like, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and just fill this thing up with the def nozzle." I said, "All right, just don't fill it up all the way. Just put like 2 gallons in it." Because we're barely below half a tank. And he's like, "All right." That thing was like a pressure washer throwing DEF in there. I don't know if this was coincidence because we actually had a check engine light on the way out there, and my code reader couldn't actually tell me what the code was other than it was emissions related. So I thought, damn, what are the odds it's going to circle around and bite us in the butt later? We're out in the middle of the desert. So the truck idled for 30 minutes or more after we put DEF in it. Get on the highway, and literally once we got up to speed, that's when that light came on. No idea if that's what made it happen, but when we get to the dealer, they spent about an hour working on it. Thank God, because I needed the truck the next weekend for the Power Wagon Rally. Taylor drove that with the camper. You'll see a whole nother video on that later on. I'm trying to just get this one out there so you guys are up to speed. But about an hour. And they said they had the lead service tech, the guy that they had trusted with everything. He looked into it, cleared the code, obviously, and what he figured was that because the DEF tested fine, all the lines and everything were fine, and the injector was fine, everything was good. What he best figured was, and I didn't tell them about the big rig nozzle, I figure everybody uses that anyway. They said that there was an air bubble in the DEF tank. And even after 200 plus miles of rattling that thing around, it didn't shake it loose enough to get it out of limp mode. I guess it was in there for the long haul. So that's what they're claiming it was. We took it to Power Wagon Rally, and I'll just give a little update on that. I'll have videos will start rolling out here soon because I'm finally getting caught up on things. I've been just slammed. What had happened, we went to the Power Wagon Rally, and then on the way back, it threw a new code. So there was stuff sitting at the door from Diesel Dudes. The truck freaking rips now. But anyway, that's just where we're at now. This was just like a brutal learning curve and stressful moments when you're out in the middle of nowhere. That limp mode thing is ridiculous, and it makes you think, man, I'd like to just stay in a second or a third gen just solid. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know if you've had any issues like this. Thankfully, we made it back, and it really makes you go, man, I'm really happy to be home after missions back-to-back that are like this. Wait till you see what happens next round. Curious to read your comments. See you guys on the next one. Later.